Let's talk about, the charity work that you've done over the years. You've worked with many organizations throughout your time in radio and in wrestling.
Yeah.
Who are some of the organizations that you've partnered up with?
Mainly during my radio years, I programmed a lot of radio stations, and I also was a general manager for radio stations. And there were two things that were always important to me when it came to radio. It was being the authority on weather in the area, because it's one thing that radio can do that other stations can't, that other people can't do, like in newspaper or television. They have these little block of times where they can get the information out. When it comes to weather, it happens 24 hours a day. And if there's breaking weather that's taking place, I wanted to always be on top of it. At the same time, while that was one of our, cemented points of our stability of our building, it was also that I wanted to have charities that we worked with, especially children's charities, because children's charities drive a lot of people to reach in their pocket. It's one of the few charities you can go to where people go, oh, it's for a child. Yes, I'll do that in a heartbeat. So the Children's Miracle Network was one of the big partners I worked with for many years. I've done so much with them. I've gone to camps for the Children's Miracle Network. I've seen the families. I've seen the children, done interviews with them. And I remember one year, this has probably been 12, 15 years ago, I guess. I was in Orlando for one of the Children's Miracle Network big gatherings that they were having. A lot of families were there, and I carried my microphone and a camera and started talking to the children and the families. By the end of the first day, I called my wife and I was shocked. The amount of the emotion that you get from the families is so overwhelming. The kids who are so strong, who will fight and fight and fight, and the parents who are crumbling around them. It was very difficult to do. And I quickly learned what life really meant during that weekend. And I remember calling my wife, and I'll say this publicly, I was bawling like a baby because it had touched me that much, the children in these families. In fact, I'm starting to get choked up now. So let's stop that. But yeah, kids are a big thing. I just believe that our children are they need role models. They need people who are there for them, to stand up for them and to show them what's right and what's wrong. And a lot of times now, kids are left to their own. Raise yourself. A kid can't raise themselves. They need a father. They need a mother.
No, they're the future of this world,
Yes.
especially today. We talked about the phones earlier. You see kids now, they're glued to them.
And that's the thing that I miss. I think a lot of kids nowadays, because things have become so much into these telephones now and in the computer age, that kids don't get the one-on-one time with parents like they used to. They don't get to use the imagination like they used to, because they can basically build or get whatever they want right on that phone.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, if you wanted to pretend to be something, you had to go outside and pretend. You had to be creative. And I used to run around with towels around my neck. I was a superhero and all that crazy stuff. You don't see that much anymore. In fact, you don't even see kids riding bicycles anymore like you did when I was a kid. Everybody had a bike. Well, now everybody's got a motorized something or a four-wheeler, but you don't even see them on that. Most kids nowadays are inside playing on the computer.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing in the world. They need to get back out and become a part of life again.
Sure.